Beginning of the story. At the start of our story, we see a group of people sitting together at a party, having a very good time. An elderly man who is a military commander introduces a handsome man who is a war hero from the war that just recently ended. This handsome man's name is Kim Jin Pyeong. Just looking at his appearance, you can tell he's a very capable officer. He doesn't drink alcohol, but because the commander ordered him to drink, he forces himself to drink the entire shoe glass. Then the officer sneaks away to smoke in a quiet place. Very strange that this position officer doesn't know how to drink alcohol. The next day, we see another handsome man talking with Officer Kim. This man's name is Woo Jin, and he also fought in Vietnam just like our Officer Kim. Now this Captain Woo Jin has been transferred to Officer Kim's unit, so they have to get acquainted with each other. The officer is interested in the captain's wife's name. It doesn't look like a Korean name at all. The captain says his wife is Chinese. That's why her family name is different like this. And he asks if the officer is interested. My wife's birthday is the same as the officer's birthday. Looks like our families are quite compatible. Later in the evening, we see Officer Kim eating with a woman who is his wife. The woman wearing glasses is named Lee Suk. She's telling her husband to attend the opening ceremony of her hospital in 2 days. Officer Kim tells his wife, "Don't worry about 2 days from now. Think about right now. Our mouths just ate hot food. Now it's time to warm up our bodies." After being intimate together, the officer comes outside, walking around near his house. He sees many bird cages hanging. At that moment, he blows cigarette smoke at a bird in one cage, and suddenly a beautiful woman says, "What are you doing to this bird? Why are you blowing smoke at it like that?" The officer says, "Sorry, I was just playing with it." She responds, "It's okay, and stop playing around like that." Our officer shuts his mouth like he's been scolded, running into a beautiful woman who lectures him like this. This woman is the captain's wife, the woman who has the same birthday as Kim. Her name is Jaeun. Our video cuts to the hospital opening ceremony, where we see 5 beautiful female doctors standing around our Officer Kim. We're only interested in Dr. Lee Suk and Dr. Jaeun. The two seem to get along well and are talking together. Lee Suk asks Jaeun, "How do you have children?" "I've been married for a long time and still don't have any children." She asks someone who also doesn't have children, "Where would Jaeun get children from?" She asked the wrong person and can't answer. "Well, if neither has children like this, let's just become friends." At that moment, suddenly a male patient grabs Dr. Jaeun by the collar with a small knife. The man says, "Please send me back to Korea." Officer Kim says, "This is Korea already. Where else in Korea do you want to go?" The man says, "Viet Song is here. This is Viet Cong." Officer Kim grabs his gun ready to shoot this crazy man, but Jaeun stops him, saying she's fine. "Please don't shoot." The officer lowers his gun slowly and tells the crazy man to calm down. This is Korea. The man agrees to release Jaeun, but then pulls the gun ready to shoot himself. The officer pulls the gun from the crazy man's hand and the bullet ricochets, grazing Jaeun's forehead. Jaeun isn't seriously hurt. She tells the officer she lost one of her earrings. Our video cuts to the scene where Officer Kim goes to visit Ms. Jaeun at the hospital. At that time, an elderly woman who is Jaeun's mother is talking with her. This mother and daughter don't get along. We don't know the reason. Jaeun chases her mother away. She doesn't want her mother to visit her. At that moment, the officer walks closer to Jaeun and apologizes to her, saying it's because of him that she got injured like this. Jaeun doesn't say anything about that. She talks about something else instead. She says these flowers are very beautiful, but if left like this, they'll definitely wilt. The officer understands her meaning and quickly goes to find a vase. He takes scissors to cut them to the right length before putting them in the vase, then puts it in Jaeun's room. The officer brings the earring she lost the other day back to her. Very good at searching, this officer, and he even knows how to put earrings on a woman. Our officer seems to be paying attention to this woman. Our video cuts to the scene where both couples are eating outside together, what they call a picnic. Ms. Lee Suk tells her husband to eat a sandwich, but Officer Kim says he already ate fruit and can't eat a sandwich anymore. Then Captain Woo Jin starts telling stories about the war in Vietnam. He talks so much that the officer tells him to stop talking before he stops. Later, Captain Woo Jin and Ms. Lee Suk leave together, leaving Officer Kim and Ms. Jeon behind. Jeon tells the officer to eat this peach because it's really good for health. Then they talk about their feelings back and forth. Jeon says, "I still remember when you brought me flowers at the hospital. Even though you didn't know how to arrange it properly, I still saw that it was good. I smile every time I remember this." The officer shares his feelings. I think about her all the time. Sorry for speaking to her like this." Jeon doesn't say anything bad about it. It looks like the two are having feelings for each other. Our video comes to a party day where we see several important people standing and chatting happily. At that moment, an elderly general becomes interested in a woman in a red dress. That's June. He tells Captain Woo Jin, "May I dance with your wife for a song or two?" Woo Jin responds, "Yes, sir." What a ridiculous request. The general tells Officer Kim to put on music suitable for dancing. Officer Kim shows a displeased expression, walks slowly onto the stage saying he wants to sing a song for the general. But the general says, "I told you to put on dance music, not for you to sing." The music starts playing. The general dances romantically with Jeon. Then we see Officer Kim is vomiting in the bathroom. Looking in the mirror, he suddenly sees Jeon, and they kiss in this bathroom, but nothing too deep yet. The next day, we see a group of women gossiping about Jeon dancing last night. Talking up and down, an old woman starts recalling Jeon's history. She says Jeon is an orphan. At first, her family of 3 went to live on a mountain to escape the war. Later, her father fell ill. Her mother ran away and abandoned both of them. Not long after, Jeon's father died, leaving only Jeon living alone on the mountain. Luckily, Captain Woo Jin's mother took her in to raise her or she would have died. And when she became an adult, Jeon married the captain. Another woman there says, "Sounds like a horror story." One day, Officer Kim's family and Captain Woo Jin's family meet together again. Ms. Lee Suk and Captain Woo Jin seem to get along well and are chatting happily, while Officer Kim and Jeon don't say anything. The officer writes on a piece of paper, "Meet tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I'll pick you up," and hands this paper to Jeon. Then the 4 of them eat together normally. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock arrives. While the sky is drizzling, Jeon gets into Officer Kim's car. The officer drives Jeon to a quiet, remote place. Here the fire of passion between them burns intensely, and they try hard to extinguish it together until the final stage. Later, Officer Kim can't think of anything. He thinks about Jeon even more strongly than before. He's thinking of ways to be happy with her again. After pondering, he has a good idea. He decides to send Captain Woo Jin to Vietnam for a while. Captain Woo Jin is happily saying goodbye to his wife to go on his mission. Officer Kim goes to find Jae-eun at her house, but Jeon won't let him in the house because she's unhappy that Officer Kim used his personal influence to send her husband to Vietnam. But our Officer Kim doesn't give up his efforts. The next morning, he comes to find her again. This time, he brings a pot of soup for her happy birthday to both of us. Officer Kim tells Jeon, "I can't sleep. I can't breathe when you're not here." Jeon lets the officer come into the house, and she says she also wanted her husband to leave here. She's not angry at the officer anymore. Then the two unwrap birthday presents from their clothes and playfully push the gifts against each other very passionately. The next morning, with birthday spirit remaining, they meet again. Officer Kim and Jeon perform a warm muscle dancing routine. Then they perform combat moves like before. One day, while Jae-eun and Officer Kim are riding in the car, suddenly they get news that Captain Woo Jin's mother-in-law has fallen seriously ill. Jeon's mother is lying in the hospital. No matter how much she hates her mother, hearing this, she decides to go see her. Arriving at the hospital, Jeon's mother-in-law is also there. Her mother isn't as seriously ill as the announcement said, and her mother-in-law talks normally to Officer Kim. Jeon tells her mother-in-law that because it was urgent, she relied on the officer to bring her here quickly, so Mom shouldn't wonder about anything. At that moment, Jeon's mother-in-law asks her, "Is this the man you love? Don't hide anything from Mom. Mom heard people talk about your relationship. Mom is sorry for making you marry Mom's playboy son. Mom made you suffer. Mom doesn't object to you loving this officer, my daughter. Because her mother-in-law is so open-minded and kind to her like this, June is very ashamed of herself. She shouldn't be having an affair like this. She's not worthy of her kind mother-in-law. So June tells Officer Kim, I really love you very much, but I can't continue like this anymore. I'm not worthy of my mother-in-law. Let's break up here. The word breakup stays in Officer Kim's mind constantly. He's very upset. He has no feeling in his body, doesn't know how to live anymore. Our officer has another plan. He orders a man to pretend to be an arms dealer. When forces capture those weapons, the person accused is Captain Woo Jin, who just returned from abroad recently, because on all those weapons is written Captain Woo Jin's name. Ji-eun's mother-in-law tells her daughter-in-law that she doesn't believe her son did this. Someone fabricated it. Jeon agrees with her mother-in-law, and she goes to find Officer Kim to talk about this. She comes in to hug and caress Officer Kim and whispers to him. Our video cuts to the scene where Ms. Lee Suk and several of her friends are holding cake with lit candles, celebrating Officer Kim's promotion day to become a general. At the same time, Ms. Lee Suk announces that she's pregnant. It's a great day for both of them. They all drink together very happily. Next, we see Ji-eun walking outside, and the officer also comes outside following her. Officer Kim tells Ji-eun, I'll take Captain Woo Jin to Seoul with me, and I'll take good care of the captain. Ji-eun says, I won't go there with you. The officer asks her, why won't you go? She says, I don't want to see you anymore. I don't want to meet you anymore. And she walks back into the event. Officer Kim, who is quite drunk, can't control his feelings anymore. He walks to find Ji-eun at the party. He shouts in front of everyone, why are you making me not understand like this? The more you avoid me, the more I want you. Their secret love affair becomes completely known to people at the party, and as a result, an old commander who is Officer Kim's father-in-law is extremely angry, cursing the officer strongly. By order of his superiors, Officer Kim must be sent to Vietnam again. He goes to meet the woman he loves. The officer asks Joan, do you love me? She nods, I love you. I'm asking now, do you love me? I still love you. The officer says, actually, I don't want to go to Vietnam. I want to go live on a beach in Thailand. I'll resign from my position to go there. Will you agree to live with me? She responds, our miserable affair is only 1 year old and already finished. Why do you want to destroy your status like this? I can't go with you. Joan says, I can't abandon everything for you. I don't love you enough to do that. I'm sorry, please go. The officer says, wait, I can't live without you. I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't breathe. The officer pulls a gun from his waistband and shoots himself. But luckily the bullet doesn't hit his heart and the officer doesn't die. Later, he's sent to Vietnam. 2 years later, 2 soldiers come to visit Ms. Ji-eun and hand her a photograph, telling her they just came from Vietnam. One soldier says, the man in this photo led a special forces team sneaking across the Lao border, and he was shot and killed immediately. No one knows his identity, only found this one photograph. The man tells June to look at the back of the photo. She sees one sentence, my love, which makes her cry immediately.